every step, every utterance we made this morning. So can you please put in our individual different ways? May God answer all the prayers. Amen. Good morning once again. For me, it's a really, really exciting morning. We met last month, and I kind of insinuated that may have been our last press conference for this year, because the thinking was we get into election campaign period, and there may have not been time to engage. But I did make a disclaimer: if the need arises, we will reach out so that we will converge again and engage and discourse for the purpose of sensitizing, informing the citizenry, our membership, Gambia and Gambians and large. And God being so good has created a situation that we are meeting here again. But things being all things the same, we still say thanks to God in all things, give God the glory in all things, give God the praise. So we're saying thank you to God our Almighty for bringing us back together to talk and discuss and engage. Today's engagement is going to be very, very simple, direct, and clear, I believe, at the end of the day. We have two agenda items, and one is for us to give you an update as to where we are from our nomination, the rejection, and with that situation. And two will be also to give you information as to the way forward for CA from here to election, subsequently post-election. So it's been bittersweet. Following you realize we've worked so hard as a party, we've prepared so well to put up a candidate, a new party, 2 years or so, putting up a candidate for presidential election. And it would have been, or it will be, our first time to do that. So we were very, very ready for that. But of course, we are faced with a situation that is beyond our control. But at CA, we believe in the power of the membership, we believe in the power of the party, we believe in everybody in CA. And obstacles don't really derail us, but we take it as opportunity to pave the way forward, and that is what we're doing right now. Without much ado, I'm going to allow Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, the party leader and presidential candidate, to get in depth to the updates as to where we are with our situation. Doctor?
Thank you very much, Frida. Thank you very much for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, members of the press present here today. Good morning to every Gambian, wherever you are, in the Gambia and in the diaspora. We called here today, the press, to talk to you and to the Gambian people through you, to give updates about the situation within the party and also the way forward. As you are aware, sometime in September, we got notification from the Independent Electoral Commission. The nomination forms were ready, the package was ready for parties to go, that parties were interested in fielding candidates to go and collect nomination forms in preparation for the December 4th elections. Now, as a political party that has the intention of fielding a candidate, went to the Electoral Commission to receive a nomination package. Now, key within this nomination package are nomination forms, obviously, but also a checklist of the requirements for nomination. And then key within this checklist, obviously, is that every candidate that has the intention to run should, or every aspiring candidate should provide 5,000 signatures. So nomination forms were given to use that as a template, but minimum 200 from each region. Among other things also was a tax clearance for the candidate, but also a declaration of assets as well. The form was given to fill that work, and some other requirements by the IEC. So CA went ahead to prepare themselves for nomination. We started gathering all the documents that are required by the IEC, the tax clearance, the affidavit in terms of the assets declaration. We went about also trying to get the signatures, the 5,000, the requirements for both the national and also the regional level, and everything was set. And a date was assigned to CA, and that date was on the 2nd of November, 2021. And the time was at 11:30. The Citizens Alliance should be at the Independent Electoral Commission to file in nomination for president. At the appointed time and date, CA, after gathering all documents required in line with the list provided by the IEC, went to the Electoral Commission to submit or to file our nomination. Now, at the Independent Electoral Commission on that day, 3 extra documents were required to be submitted by Citizens Alliance, even though these documents were not in the checklist that was provided by the Electoral Commission. One was a letter from the Citizens Alliance as a party indicating that they are going to sponsor Dr. Ismaila Ceesay as the candidate. That is one. This letter was requested on the ground during nomination day, but this letter was not as one of those items that were required by the IEC in the checklist. That's one. Secondly, we are also requested to ask to bring in a campaign itinerary, a campaign schedule. This was also a document that was not indicated as part of the documents we submitted in line with the checklist. Even though we submitted a campaign itinerary, but we were asked to do that in a specific form, a specific template provided by the IEC, but this was provided us prior to our nomination. So we said, okay, that's fine, we'll also do that. The third document that was required was a signed code of conduct, but this code of conduct also not provided as part of the nomination package, so we could not also bring it. Then they said, well, we can provide that if you need it. So we are given 3 days up to Friday nomination process to provide these 3 documents. A letter from Citizens Alliance indicating that they are sponsoring my candidacy, a signed code of conduct and ethics, but also a campaign and IEC template. Before on Wednesday, we prepared all these documents and submitted these 3 documents in the Independent Electoral Commission. Now, we trusted the process, we trusted the entire nomination process, and we trusted the institutions that are supposed to run the elections in this country. So we were sitting in anticipation, waiting to hear from the Electoral Commission through the right process as to the fate of our nomination. Now, to our surprise, on Saturday, it was the 6th of November at 5 o'clock, there was a press conference by the Independent Electoral Commission. It was where we found out that our nomination was rejected on the grounds that we did not fulfill one of the requirements for nomination in line with the Electoral Act, and that is we are not able to provide 200 signatures from the Banjul administrative area. Now, when we received that news at that press conference, we also realized that we have 48 hours to appeal the decision of the Independent Electoral Commission. We spoke to our lawyers and we were advised to appeal the decision. We filed in an appeal. On Monday morning, we took the appeal to the Independent Electoral Commission and submitted our appeal. On Monday afternoon, we got a call from the Electoral Commission inviting us to a meeting at the commission with the returning officer, the chairman of the commission. We went there. The chairman was there with the chief electoral deputy chair and also head of IT. Went there with the executive, and our file was sent to us, and we were also when they also showed us where we fell short of nomination forms. Now, even though IEC agreed that we submitted more than 200 signatures from Banjul, however, they said that the signatures were cancelled out for CA because of duplicate nominations. What does that mean? It means that if I sign for Mr. X, I cannot sign for Mr. Y. But if you look at the forms, those who signed for CA signed for CA before they signed for the other parties. But the IEC arbitrarily gave nomination date and time to political parties. So it means that if party X is called to submit their nomination before party Y, and but party Y was the first party to be signed for, its party Y's signatures will be X. And we think that is unfair. We did not choose the day we are going for nomination. So it's not about when it was signed, it was when it was delivered to the IEC. But the date and time of delivery is decided by the IEC and not Citizens Alliance. And because of those duplicates, they said we lost some signatures. And because of that, we could not fulfill the criteria. Now, we still insisted that we thought our rights were violated and the IEC didn't follow due process. But the law is very clear that where nomination forms are incomplete, it is by law, according to the Electoral Act, for the IEC to provide fresh nomination and notify the candidate before nomination closes to submit fresh nominations. But that was not done. We will not hear anything from the IEC. We are not notified that we are short until when we had at the press conference that our appeal was rejected. Now, following day, on Tuesday, we received a letter from the Electoral Commission that our appeal was rejected. We also spoke to our lawyers, and we were advised that we are unfairly treated. We trust a process that should have been transparent and a process that would have focused more on inclusion rather than exclusion. In line with the Constitution, every citizen has a right to be voted for in office, but also to vote for in elections. Also, all the constitutional requirements in accordance with the law, with the Constitution, in terms of age, in terms of citizenship, in terms of academic qualification, all the constitutional requirements are fulfilled by us. Now, we thought it was unfair, unjust for us to be rejected or disqualified just because we did not meet statutory requirements which are outside of the Constitution. So because of that, we feel that our rights have been violated. And it's not followed due process in the way they handled our nomination. And then we thought now the best way is to go to the courts and let the courts decide. The courts are here for everyone. The law is here for everyone to protect everybody's fundamental human rights. So we thought that our rights were violated and that the IEC don't act in line with due process in terms of, in fact, the way we are notified of our rejection. The law is very clear on that. There is a process that should have been done to notify rejection, but also not giving a chance, an opportunity in accordance with law and our right to really fulfill the requirements to run for office. By giving a chance to fill in fresh nomination forms, our rights were also violated. So we engaged lawyers. Barrister Christopher Mene is heading team of lawyers, and yesterday a case was filed at the High Court challenging the IEC's decision. And then we just got to learn this morning that a day has been assigned for hearing, which is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday at 1:30. The case will be heard at the High Court. So in the meantime, we want to convey to every Gambian, to all our party members, sympathizers, and supporters, stay calm while we follow due process, while we give the court the chance to make a decision on this very important, this very critical issue. And focusing on this court case, we've already filed a case at the High Court. We trust the process, and we are waiting for the process to make a ruling on this case. In the meantime, we have a case to be heard on Tuesday. In the meantime, after that, perhaps we'll also seek advice from our lawyers, and they'll advise us as to the nature of this process, and we'll know exactly what to do as a party. But just to tell the members of the press, every Gambian, and to our supporters that now the case now in the courts, it will be heard on Tuesday at 1:30, and we are waiting for that. And after that, we will now make a decision on the way forward for the party. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. Thank you to your partners. Thank you to everybody watching or listening to the media. I think Dr. Ceesay has spoken with candor, frankly and passionately about the issue. It's a bittersweet for us because we should have been in the campaign trail like every other party. That's what we worked for. I think we deserve to be there. But of course, our rights have been violated and we cannot be there. So we cannot be happy or laughing about it. But at the end of the day, life moves on. We're party responsible individuals, people with unquestionable character. And we have a leader in the person of Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, who is worthy of the position to lead the party. And I think thus far, since the rejection, everybody will agree that he has really worked so hard to keep the party calm and collected, focused, and disciplined to manage with the situation we are faced with right now. What I'm going to do is allow you, the media here present, to pose your questions, if there are any. I'm sure there are many questions you want to ask. And first introduce your media house, your name, and go right into the question. And of course, as usual, we will do our best to answer your questions to provide clarity. Thank you.
Yes. My name is Landis Ceesay from Canada. My question is, prior to the nomination, the IEC informed the CA that one person cannot sign for two political parties?
No, there was no notification to the IEC.
So did our law say one person cannot sign for two political parties?
Well, IEC is saying that that is what's in the Electoral Act, that one person cannot nominate two individuals or two candidates.
That's it for you? That's it for you?
Yes.
My name is Christian Fonte. I work in the Party Network. I wanted to ask how far you're gone, but you say you are taking the matter to court. Let's assume the courts uphold the verdict already given by the IEC. What will be your next line of action?
Well, we'll get advice from our lawyers, and they'll advise us what will be next course of action.
So is the CA the only party affected by this? Do you have other parties that you have a similar situation with?
Well, we can only speak for CA. CA is affected, that we know, and we are seeking redress at the courts. So we can only speak for CA at this moment.
This is Isava on behalf of OTP. PhD campaign is ongoing. Now let's assume, let's say you win the case at the High Court, and campaign are already ongoing. Like, how is that going to be like? How is the time that is going to affect you?
Well, campaigns are not won in a 3-week campaign. Elections is a long-term thing. We've been campaigning since 2 years ago. We started campaigning because of the nature of our campaign, the strategy we use. So for us, we don't think that elections are won in the 3-week official campaign period given. We are seeking redress, and for us, the most important thing is to rectify a wrong, and the most important thing is to ensure that no other party, political party, or citizen falls victim to a rights violation. So this is not about CA, it's not about this campaign, it's about making sure that we right a wrong in the system to ensure that no other party becomes a victim of rights violations in the Gambia anymore. So for us right now, we are focused on the case. It's in the courts. We are waiting for the courts to decide.
Okay, you said the IEC said no signatures, although you have over 2,000 required. But they
200.
I mean, your signatures, they said other political parties also have similar signatures. So as far as you know, do you know the law that talks about as to whether because you said like the time was not, it's not you who set your own time. So you don't know about the issue of the signatures, the cut signatures and stuff.
But even if the electoral act is clear that one person cannot sign for 2 people, yet you cannot use that as a punishment to punish political parties, because no party will know that one person has signed for 2 people. But also the rationale itself, the logic itself doesn't make sense, in the sense that it is the IEC that assigns nomination date and time. So if you give Mr. X to go before me, Mr. X has undue advantage over me, even though we have people who sign for both of us. So that is not the case. The case here is that we think that our rights are violated. We think it is the court that determines.
So to you, who signed first? Like the person who signed first should have been given priority.
Well, I'm not the court here. That is why I said the court. Let the court determine that who should be given priority. I think here now the case in the court. Let the court do their job. We cannot be here and saying what is right and what is wrong. One thing that is for sure is that we've been wrong. Our rights were violated in accordance with the Constitution, in accordance with the Electoral Act. Therefore, that is why we have trust in the process, in the judicial process. That is why we are handing it to the judicial process to make a decision. So we cannot sit here to see what should have been and what should have been. One thing is clear, that our rights were violated, and we are seeking redress in the courts.
I am Fat Badi from First Avenue. Mr. Sise, rumor has it that you are in talks with UDP and PBOIS. How authentic is that information?
Well, rumors are rumors. Currently, we are focusing on our case in the courts. That's our focus right now. And that's what I can tell you. Anything that changes from that, we'll face the media again and tell them what's happening. But for now, our focus is our case in the courts, waiting for the courts to make a determination.
Okay, I am also and I work with the planning.
And we'll get advice from our lawyers as to the scope and nature of the case, and we'll advise ourselves as to what the next move will be.
Do you trust the justice system?
Yes, we trust especially recently, yes. We've seen recent rulings that really show that the current judicial system is impartial, and that they follow the process and they are doing their job. So if we didn't trust the process, we wouldn't take it there. We trust the rest why we took it there. So yes, we trust the justice system.
Okay, I'm Usman Sedikan for Guyana Online News. So CA was one of the parties who signed an alliance with two other parties, GMC and OPP, APB. Yeah. So unfortunately, you and Mike, the only 2 aspirants who filed your nominations were rejected, and then the other one has allegedly endorsed PDIS. So let's assume that you have to win the case. Is that alliance, what's the fate of the alliance?
Well, I cannot speak for the favorite alliance now. Where we stopped was we had decided that we will go for nominations. After that, we'll sit again and decide. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So for now, I cannot speak on the fate of the alliance, because as I speak now, I wouldn't know. We're yet to sit and discuss the way forward for the alliance, but I wouldn't know.
So your argument was you all go for nomination, but APP did not go for the nomination. Perhaps if they had gone, they might have been the lucky one to qualify. Was there any?
No, not all go for. I mean, parties were given a chance to go for nomination. You have to remember that the alliance was supposed to be party-led, and it means that even if there was a flag bearer chosen, it wasn't an alliance or coalition where it was an independent-led alliance or coalition. All the parties now back that candidates. So that was it. But for now, as we speak, I cannot tell anything about that alliance. As we speak, we went through nominations. We did the right thing. We did everything that was asked and required in line with the Constitution and in line with the Electoral Act. And the outcome we thought was unfair and unjust, and that our rights were violated. and that the whole process did not focus on the principles of inclusivity, and knowing that every citizen has the right to vote and not to be voting in office. Therefore, as a result, we are following the due process to see what the court will determine. But for now, I cannot answer any question with regards to that, those alliance talks, because those ones are stalled even before the nomination started.
The GMC, I heard they are going for a protest. Is the CEO also thinking of that?
We are following due process. That's what I've just explained here, that we are going to the courts. We trust the judiciary, we trust that there is a country with laws. We believe there is a country with laws. Therefore, if you feel that your right is violated, seek redress through the right channel, and that is what we are doing.
Lady, madam, you have a question.
Okay. Also, Gambia can still no, actually, all of them. But what I see rejected such candidate.
Jërëjëf fu mu toll nii si jamono yi toll nii mooy ne xalaatam nañ loolu noonu ñun dañ façon ne mais dañoo taxawal candidat présidentiel yooyu moo tax li nga xam ne loolu la IEC laaj it ut nañ ko ñu jox leen so mooy woon suñ ne comme que ñoom ñu ne ñun luñ def matut moo tax ñu génne ñu lu am na ñu nañ fi suñ ak suñ yële dañ ko jalbe kon looy mën a def mooy nga dem si kuréel bi nga xam ne foofu la ñoo aatee foofu la ñoo dem ñu xaar aatee waaye fuñ toll nii si jamono yi nekkuñ di xalaat mbiri fan la ñoo def ak fan la ñu dem ñun suñ sago mooy ñu taxaw moo tax dinañ dem ba jeex ba gis ne lu waa bi wax loolu def si loolu.
We have any other questions? Go ahead.
Mr. Sidi, I'm Abdullah from Paradise TV. You are claiming that the IEC violated your rights. So now you are going to court. In case, even in this case, you still have to confidence that IEC are going to operate based on how do you explain it?
Well, the courts are superior. The laws are superior.
I'm confident that the IEC.
I'm confident that the laws of the country will be followed. Nobody can really. Nobody is above the law. No institution is above the law. When the courts decide, they decide. So there is no choice about that.
Are you confident enough with their decision?
I'm confident enough with the court's decision, and I'm pretty much sure that the country is a country of laws, and any decision by a competent court should be followed.
Do we have any other questions? No?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mbokay maa leen nuyu di leen sant di leen gërëm fu ñu toll nii li mooy mbir mi Citizens Alliance yëg nañ ne xam nañ ne te óor nañu ne suñ ak yi lépp dañ ko jalgati te fii dëkk bi nga xam ne la dëkki lu wax kon su demee noonu ñun ñu ngi dem léegi si yoon pour yoon aay maɗigol ko nga fata ñamen nga jele ko na ñanto je wala bumbolo e man na ñanto din ko banku din wo banku ne ñanta ñanda kala so mali ko na ñanto je wala busimbolo andum banku di ñalan ko lo banko lo momo ne la ñanto busimbolo e ma dila e balala install wa Citizens Alliance wala ke fonkata lo wa so mo be kala mo tanda ko mo mo tenting na di sono dale ko akweta na ko na ñanto yam balala le rosani keso ni mba sambala kotle loi pour loi ya decide for bitanyane ko mbalbe tentula mbali na ala.
Well, I did promise you the conference was going to be very, very straightforward and direct and on point. I think we have done justice to that. But just to again thank you for your support as always. Thank you for your partnership, you media. I always emphasize the media is our partner. That was a promise we made from our Congress, and I think we have really kept to our promise. Just to remind you all, the citizenry, through you, the media, that CA was born out of necessity. CA constitutes young, talented, committed, emerging young stars who are advocates of processes and procedures. And we have really demonstrated that from inception to our launching of the party, to our Congress, which was the first since I joined the political arena, to see a political party done a process in a transparent way as CA did it, to announce elections, to publicize the elections, from the manifesto launching to the unveiling of the manifesto, to our nominations until here we are. And of course, with such a very difficult situation, we are still calm and collected and following the law and then believing the judicial system to ensure that the right thing is done. I mean, all of them was for a month, Madam Contant, ne lingum, nyung chitahaw, nyung kode, hadi wim, sonnoy. So di gëna ñaax rek jaay jëfal yeen mi ñoo sétan di gëna ñaax ñi ñoo toppa ñi ñu gom suñu supporter ci né bu len tayi li ci kanam rawul bu ñun gom nañ né loi dina dogal ci nim waré té bu boba dinañ continuer di taxaw di def li ñu war di def li ko waré wax. Again, thank you very much, and until we come your way again another time, I believe it is to announce that CA has emerged out of this predicament victorious. So thank you very much and have a blessed Friday.